Hey, badass business owners. I'm popping in here for a Know Your Business Numbers Thursday because I want to go over something that I think is very critical as we go to kick off this year, or if you're listening to this in the future, do it now. I want you to take your profit and loss statement that you are finalizing right now for 2020 and or whatever previous year, whenever you're hearing this. And I want you to make sure that you take whatever profit you think you made in the business. And if you don't already do this, I want you to assign yourself a wage. I want you to say, okay, if I was to hire someone to replace me, I would pay them, say, $15 an hour, or I would pay them $20 an hour. Now, I'm not saying replace you as a business owner. I'm talking about someone replacing you doing what it is that you do. So if you were to hire an employee, let's just say you no longer did the doing aspect of it. If you were to hire someone, now what I want you to do is I want you to take that number and I want you to assign it 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, probably not more than that, even if you might be working 60, 70, 80 hours, but just assume 40 hours at minimum, unless you work part-time. But however many hours you think you work a week in the business, doing kind of a stuff. All right. Then what I want you to do is I want you to multiply that out. So let's just take $15 an hour times 40 hours. That's $600 a week times 52 weeks. We'll say you have 2 weeks off. We'll just say 50 weeks. That's $30,000. Now, if you do not currently break out your payroll as a payroll line for when you're paying yourself as a doer, I want you to take the profit that you made last year and I want you to subtract whatever number you come up with. So let's just say that you run a handyman business and last year you made $40,000 and you're like, yeah, you know what? I had a really good year. I made 40 grand and life is good. But yet you don't separate your doer hours out. So let's just say you're this person at $15 an hour. I know, go with my numbers. It may be different in your area and it might be different. It's the point of the matter that you're trying to get out of this. If you do the exercise, you're going to come up with $30,000. So let's just say you made $40,000 last year, but you don't break it out. The reality is you might have paid yourself $40,000, but your company did not create $40,000 worth of profit. You see, because somebody has to be doing the doing in that business, and you were just paying yourself. The majority of that money came out of you paying yourself as an employee. So in this case, that person made $30,000 as an employee, and the business is the difference. So if the business did 40 grand, after you take your payroll, it really only made 10 grand. And by the way, if you were going to make $20, which is a legitimate thing to be paid, times that 40 hours, times those 50 hours, that's actually 40 grand. And if you made 40 grand in the business, after you pay yourself a decent wage making $20 an hour, the reality is your business didn't make a dime because you paid yourself as an employee. So I want you to do this exercise. It's going to break your heart. It's going to hurt, but it's very important you rip off this scab, because what's happening is you're making decisions like an employee versus as a business owner. Because trust me, if you realize that you were really only you were losing money, or you were making $1,000 or $10,000, you might make different decisions in your business because you need the business to make more money. Remember, there's two hats you're wearing. You wear multiple hats, but there's two key ones when it comes to getting paid in your business. The first is as an employee doing some doing, and then as a business owner. It's very important you know the difference of what you would pay yourself as an employee. Now, just because you're all that in a bag of chips doesn't mean you make $30, $40 an hour. That's not what we're looking for. It's what would you legitimately pay someone to do what it is that you do? If it's $15, $20, $25, case of a plumber or handyman, it might be $40, but whatever it is, make sure that's the number you put in there. And then from a business standpoint, it's going to be the difference between what you totally made as a business. So I really encourage you on your profit and loss to separate out those two lines. It's so you're getting paid two different ways. This is my pay as an employee, and this is my pay as a business owner, because that's called you're getting paid out of the business profits. That's an owner's draw. That's the money you get out of the profit. So really, you're getting paid two different ways. You shouldn't be getting paid just the one. But it's very, very important you understand the difference, because if you truly want to run a business, you need to know this business number. If you're just here to own a job and be your own boss and not have a business, then keep doing what you're doing. But as I suspect, want to really truly build a great business that at some point in time is going to free up time for you to live a life that you want to live without having to work 50 million hours a week, you're going to have to be able to replace yourself in that business at some point in time. Otherwise, like I said, you just own a job. So once again, take the typical wage that you would pay someone to do what it is that you do, times the number of hours that you're possibly working. And by the way, you notice how I didn't do this on 60, 70 hours, because if I did this off of 60, 70 hours, so many of you guys would be losing money. But the person who's losing money because they're working 50, 60, 70 hours is you, the business owner, because you, the employee, would be getting overtime. And that's not the way it's set up in your business. So it's really important you look at the numbers this way. So once again, what you would typically pay someone to do what it is that you do, times a reasonable number of hours. 40 hours is what most people do. If you want to do 50, it's up to you. It's just, what would you pay someone to do if you hired them off of the street with how many hours? You know what would that be? And then subtract that from the total your business made in profit to know that difference. I think you're going to have an eye-opening experience, and I think it's important that each and every one of you guys do that, because I think you're going to make different decisions in your business. With that, I'm out of here. Nice, short, sweet, but it's a business number you really, truly need to understand, because it makes a huge difference in how you run your business. Don't forget, if you ever want to learn and dive into your business numbers better, I'm here to try to help you understand your profit and loss and understand your business numbers better. It really will make a difference between you just owning a job and owning a business. All right, with that, I'm out of here. Go get out there and kick some ass. Hey, badass business owner, before you go, as you know, I'm a huge believer in you knowing your business numbers. After all, it isn't about how much you sell. It's about what you keep. And the best way to grow your profits is to start diving in and understanding those business numbers. To help you on this journey, I have created the Know Your Business Numbers course. We will walk through how to read your profit and loss statement. You'll learn the key calculations that'll help ensure that you're making a healthy profit on all of your products or services, plus a ton of other good stuff that'll help you learn how to use those business numbers to create even more sales and profits. Just check out the link below in the show notes or visit knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. So if you're ready to increase those profits, it's time you start diving into your business numbers.